The original Halloween will always have a special place in my heart. I guess because it's the first one that I ever saw, and because I saw it with my mom. I loved the atmosphere, and I know they didn't have a lot of decorations, probably because they didn't have a lot of money back then for the first one, and probably because it was the very first movie. Here's the thing. I absolutely loved the Dr. Loomis character. I loved Laurie Strode. She was a bit quiet. I was a little upset that she didn't say more. We didn't get a lot of dialogue out of Laurie. She was a bit withdrawn in the first one, and that was before anything even happened to her. That was the ironic thing. And I loved the town of Haddonfield. I absolutely loved it, and I say all that to say that's what I want Halloween Kills to be. I want it to be a genuine follow-up. What happened to all these people? And to me, Halloween 2018 just didn't get it done. And so I'm hoping that with this next movie, we will get a genuine follow-up. I want to know, how were all of these people affected? How did it affect Lindsay Wallace? How did it affect Lonnie Elam, Because the guy that's supposed to play Lonnie Elam, I imagine him being an alcoholic. Like, it just seems like that's what Lonnie would look like if he were an alcoholic. Is Lonnie an alcoholic? Does he get drunk all the time because of what happened? I know he wasn't directly in the situation of the so-called babysitter murders, but I know he heard about it. Maybe he knew Laurie. Maybe he knew Annie. Maybe he knew Linda. We don't know. How did it affect Marion Chambers or Marion Whittington, whatever her name is? How did it affect her? What kind of effect did it have on her? Did she spend the rest of her life staying inside and not going out? Does she regret the fact that she never listened to Dr. Loomis? Does it bother her that she didn't take him seriously all those years ago? How did this whole thing affect that town? That's what I wanted to see, instead of seeing a bunch of kids blowing up pumpkins. I want to see what kind of effect the 1978 murders, aka the babysitter murders, had on the town of Haddonfield. What kind of effect did it have on Lindsay? I'm guessing Lindsay has a daughter of her own now. Does Lindsay not let her daughter go places because of the so-called babysitter murders? This is the kind of thing I want to see. This is the kind of thing that I hope they explore. Maybe each one of the survivors can share their story about how the so-called babysitter murders affected them. What kind of effect did it take on them? Maybe Lindsay's daughter was gonna attend a Halloween party at high school, and Lindsay just flipped out because she didn't want her daughter celebrating Halloween. This is the kind of thing I would have loved to have seen in 2018. But it's like they were too busy being political in that movie. And this is no disrespect to anybody from Blumhouse, but this is the kind of thing that I want them to explore. Bring the Myers house back. What kind of shape is the Myers house in? Has anybody moved in lately? You see, that's what the old continuity did. The old continuity showed the effects of 1978. The town just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And yes, they had parties after the 1978 murders in the old continuity. But in my opinion, I think it's not so much that they didn't care about what was going on in 1978 or what went on in 1978. I think it's like they were almost trying to sweep it under the rug, because they were hoping that if they just ignored it, it would go away. It's sort of like the Freddy Krueger problem. If you just ignore Freddy and you don't feed into his bullshit, he'll just disappear. And I think that's what they were doing in Halloween 1 through 8. They were just hoping that Michael Myers would go away. They were just hoping that Michael Myers was just a bad dream. And that's what I want to see here. I want to know the kind of effect that it took on these people. Whatever happened to Sheriff Brackett? How come he never talked about Annie? What about Linda Vanderklok's parents? How come they never said anything? Do they blame Lori for what happened to their daughters? You know, this is the kind of thing I want them to explore. The first film was such a great film. I watched it every day. Literally. I watched that film every single day. And if not every single day, almost every day. Just the first film alone. Before I even knew about the sequels. And when I watched the first film, I couldn't wait to see Halloween 2. So I'm asking all the producers, show us how all of this has affected our beautiful cast of characters. I want to know what kind of effect it took on them. I've always been curious about that. In a way, we never really got a good follow-up to that. I mean, I guess we did with Halloween 2. You know, Halloween 4 was pretty good. But they never really addressed 1978. So that's all I want to say. I just want them to follow it up as best they can and give us the proper aftermath, the proper send-off even, if you will. What happened to Judith? I would like to see that stuff. Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching. I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. I approve this message. And I just hope that we get the proper follow-up. I liked 1 through 8. I really do. I just wanted them to go into 1978 a little bit more. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening. I approve this message.